Alright, so today I'm just gonna make some bag Caesar salad and then I'm gonna do some chicken cutlets, just the quick and easy way. Here's all the ingredients I got going. I think I hopefully should have everything laid out. I've got that chicken breast that I'll process here in a second. We're just gonna use mayo, Panko breadcrumbs. You can use the Panko or you could use regular breadcrumbs, just like the crunch on the Panko. Got all of the different seasonings for the cutlet. And then I'll probably just do a light kind of pan fry in butter. You could just pair this. I just like to do just a quick Caesar salad kit. I like the regular one, but looks like we got the chopped one instead. So here's the chicken breast. So I'll just go ahead and try and trim up some of this different fat. I like to trim this up before I actually cut the breast into some cutlets. So I like to do the one side and then I'll flip it over and then take a look at the other. Should be good for trim. And then for cutlets, you can make them as thin as you want, 1/4 of an inch thick or so. I just keep my knife parallel to the cutting board and then just cut through the entirety of the breast. Kind of made this one a little thin. That's okay. Those ones usually turn out to be the best. I'll just go ahead and do the same thing with the rest of them. Just try and make them probably about that same thickness. This is a little easier if your chicken breast isn't quite thawed all the way. If it's partially frozen, it's actually a little easier. So I ended up with that one breast, got about 4 cutlets. Usually I try and shoot for somewhere around 3 to 4. Just kind of depends on how thick your chicken breast is. So I'll go ahead and get this out of the way. And then what I'll do with these cutlets is I'm gonna go ahead and wash my hands real quick and then I'll get out a pan and that way I can start seasoning these cutlets. So I've got the cutlets here on a sheet pan. I've just got them kind of stacked as close as I can together. Just makes it a little easier for seasoning. I went ahead and salted the underside of these and then I'm just gonna go ahead and salt the other side. Just a decent little coating. So I already salted the other side and flipped it over. So I got the mayo. Just gonna take a little bit. Obviously not cross-contaminate, so I'm just going to kind of flick the mayo on top. Just kind of like that. And then this is still clean, so I'm going to put this off to the side. I've got my hands dirty already, so what I'll go ahead and do is just kind of spread this mayo out. It's not the most appetizing. Alright, so I just got mayo spread out on the underside of these ones, and then what I do is I get some of the excess mayo and then I just put it on the last breast before I flip it over. I just put a little bit of mayo for these. I'll just spread this out. Go ahead and add the Panko now. While it's on this side, I'll go ahead and season it. So just a little Italian seasoning, onion powder, garlic powder. Felix is thirsty. Paprika, a little MSG. And then I'll go ahead and press this in. Just as much as you can. Some of this is going to come off, but it's okay. I'll go ahead and flip these over. So I went ahead and seasoned the other side. I just went in with the Panko breadcrumbs first. And then I just went ahead and seasoned everything. And then pressed it in kind of just like this on all of them. Alright, so I just got a taller pot here. I've got a few tablespoons of butter and then a splash of extra virgin olive oil. The butter's starting to foam up and it seems to be pretty warm. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and take these cutlets, shake them off a little bit right before I put them in, and then transfer them over. So you can hear it didn't really sizzle. So I'm just gonna give it just a little more time before I put the next one in there. So I gave it probably about 30 seconds. It's kind of sizzling now, so I'll go ahead and put the next one in. Just give it a little shake. Drop it in there. I'll let that cook until you start seeing some browning on the edges, and then I'll flip it over. Alright, so I've let it cook in here. This one side, it's probably been about a minute and a half or so. And you can kind of see around the edges it's starting to get a little white. So I'm just going to peek, see how this one's doing. Got a nice golden crust on it, so I'll go ahead and flip that over. Go ahead and check this one too. It's starting to get some white around the edges. These were pretty thin cutlets too. Yeah. Things really don't take that long because they're so thin. So while these are finishing up, the reason I chose the taller pot rather than a shorter skillet just makes it a little bit less of a mess as the grease splatter usually gets caught by the edges of the pot. Go ahead and grab the temperature probe. Getting about 160 or so on this one. Once you get around that 155, around the 155 range, what I like to do is I'll go ahead and turn this down. I'll go ahead and pull them out. Also got a nice crust on the bottom side. So I've got this other pan here, just got a grate. Put this pan just in the oven, just on keep warm. That way while I'm doing the other ones, they stay nice and warm. So I got all the cutlets out, they're all up to temp. What I'll do is I'll just put them in the oven on keep warm while I put the salad together. So I've got pretty much everything dumped in the salad kit. I dumped about half of the dressing in first, and I'll just give it a mix. I'll go ahead and do the other half. Alright, so I got the chicken breast here. Been resting just a little while. Go ahead and just slice them up. Hear how crunchy it is? Just some nice thin cutlets, and it's nice and moist. Felix is very interested. Yeah. So what I like to do is just take the salad, a fresh set of tongs, and then what I'll do is I'll take the chicken. I'll just place it on top. There you go, there's some chicken Caesar salad. Enjoy.